Yeah, I wanted to point something out because I had forgotten. I have made so many videos, you know, there's so much stuff, and it's like that's stuff I'd forget had I not made a video. And there's plenty of stuff I hadn't covered. But see this little dot there? There's a little dot here. There's a little dot here. You see there's 3 dots. Okay, and the interesting thing I got on this side too. It's 1, 2, 3. You see them same pattern. So it's like these little finger pressed dots on both sides. And now I had also, just maybe 4 days ago, and I had forgotten about this already, on my chest I had 2, one on my left and one on my right, equal size 3 dots. And those are like finger pressed marks. And when I was having the Fae encounter before, that was the problem. There was a lot of details that I had not covered them all yet, because it was quite, you know, too world consuming. It's too much of a, you know, issue to like, oh boy, you grab your shit and get the hell out of there is really what I had to do, which I barely made it because there was a lot of things going on, like a psychological effect, like the it's funny because like the little squirrels would come at 7 on the dot. It's like, you know, I'm telling you, they're on clockwork. On 7 on the dot, the squirrels would drop nuts on me to wake me up, or little apples or whatever, and they would wake me up. And they were playful. I have a video with them. I have the 3 squirrels come out, and I'm actually talking with them, and they come over, and they're just like hanging out, like, hey, yeah, we're the Fae. And so that's the issue. It's a pretty long video. I gotta go find it. I might have misplaced it, but there's another point I want to bring up, because I had an example, well, with the lily beetles, but also with these deer that I had. They had watered some columbines for me. They were coming out of the river and shaking off on my columbines just in that area. It's like a 12-foot embankment, like 2 foot by 12 foot, and that 2 foot by 12 foot embankment was saturated with water regularly. And I thought someone was watering it. I thought someone brought in, like, you know, a vehicle to water it. But it actually was a deer coming out of the river, and it'd come off and it'd shake off over there. And it wasn't just that the deer was shaking their water off, or it was just the one stag. I don't know if it was more than one, but he took his hooves and etched around each columbine. The columbines were like 3 years old, but they were only like 2 inches tall because the drought. We had like four years of drought, so they didn't really grow too well. But the deer overheard me, and he decided to put furrows around the columbines and then water them for me, which is really cool. And that's like the Fae, and the same with the lily beetles. See, the lily beetles actually heard me, like I wanted to get rid of the oaks, and they went and they stopped eating the lilies, and they started eating the oaks, the small oak leaves, the little oak trees. So also that's probably very poisonous for them, so it might have killed them. I don't know. And with the deer as well, they might have gotten in some trouble. I don't know. Yeah, but those little dots, because, you know, like, I'm gonna, hopefully they're probably still visible. I'm not gonna show them right now, but I'm gonna do another video with those little dots on my chest, because you can see the markings. But that was going on before, and I may or may not have a video of that. That was like months ago, and I was like, oh, I had on the inside of my arm and the inside of my other arm 2 thumb prints. Like, it looked like a thumb, but it was like a black and blue. And, you know, you could dismiss it, but then there was other markings. For example, like a spider bite. I had a spider bite on the bottom right cheekbone and on the bottom left cheekbone, matching, and they did the 2 bite mark angles the same. So it was the Fae saying, we're watching you, but there's danger. You know, it's like dink dink. And it was, you know, so these are examples of stuff, but the world's kind of like a biomechanical machine, and there's all kinds of century points on this cycle. It's kind of like the Elysian rainbow bridge. The Elysian realm is for the conscious-minded, but the carnal-minded is grounded. That's the satanic, worldly people. That's the Vatican Church. The progressives are grounded. They're just because the Antichrist spirit, or the satanic spirit, see, what is Satan? Satan is the Antichrist spirit, is the same. So it's like, you know, what's the most carnal, selfish, dopamine fixation you can have? It's kind of like and their idol is Satan. Satan is the idolatry of their vision. The most selfish, narcissistic persona, you know, it's a generic characteristic. It's grounded. And so it's all these people are like automatons running on the idolatry of the most satanic, whatever that is. And it's no different because it's lie, cheat, steal, destroy. They're not creators, they're destroyers. And they're deniers of all the creators, all who create and all who are, example of like in a workplace, you see like what is work? And I say like this is the IRS, the military industrial complex, this is what the work is. And what are you doing? He's making social justice. He's doing like he wants to make it nice for the environment, whatever that is. He's a sycophant for the IRS. I go, well, okay, so look, you're a fool with no personality. He had his very lame. It's like the word lamers and posers. This is what he is. Is the epitome of what he is. That's an idolatrous nothing. He's an idolatrous empty shell. He's not a human being, but that. The directive of his programming is a carnal groundedness. It's not. And if you look at any retrospect, like look at the IRS, look at the Vatican, look at the drug cartels. It's literally like the Jezebel riding the beast, saying, "Look, I'm doing my job. I'm like I'm giving cookies and crackers to the crackheads and murderers." But I'm giving disdain and disrespect and contempt for the civilian, because like believe it, it's so cut and dry, but it's so like mind-bogglingly evil. It's invisible because people are like no they're not doing it. And go take a look at what the person's doing. Look at their virtue signaling. She said, look at me, I'm doing such holy work by doing what? By taking the working people's money and giving it to the murderous people. It's look at the progressive policy. It's like you commit a murder. What does that get you? That gives you a union job in housing. That's like Jersey City. What are they doing? They're housing anybody with a felony murder is getting free housing and getting a union job. Like, so who's paying for that? And then you got the social credit score rolling out all over the world. And they're getting paid in contempt, because you see that those murderous residents of Jersey City, what do they have to say to the slaves who are working in India, China, Bangladesh, nothing but murderous contempt. They want to devour them and brutalize them. That's the kind of mindlessness that they have. They're not creators. They're not holy ones. They really feel that they are. It's a aggregate polarity, and their belief, the narcissism of like the church leaders. That's the Jezebel church leader. She's sitting there, look at me, I'm so holy. She's jumping around, flipping her arms around. Look at me, I'm so holy. Look, I'm doing I'm working. I don't even get paid. That's a Jezebel. She says, I didn't get paid to do all the evil she does. like, wow, you're getting something. You shouldn't be doing it. Who's feeding you? Who's feeding? How are you buying and selling? That's Jezebel with the beast mark. And it's like I said, the mindlessness. It's not a creative, cognitive being, but that Elysian realm, that spectral dimension is resident. So this is like your dwelling. It's kind of like the abyss, the chaos, the ocean. The oceanic dwelling place of Leviathan. And again, there's like a Leviathan. Who is this Leviathan? And you worm, who will hook the Leviathan? And Leviathan is the dragon of the sea, but it's like a big fish. And they got the hook. Who's gonna hook Leviathan? And then it's got Pharaoh. Who's gonna hook Pharaoh? Like with all the dead fish stuck to Pharaoh and all the life.